Everything started with when the doorbell rang. That bloody Sunday.
Splatter by name, splatter by nature. This one's got the blood and the guts flying, but does it have the gameplay and fun to go with it? My name's Kanan, and this is Splatter. Zombiecalypse now. Engage.
The peace of mind is rare to come by these days. I thought I found it. But boy, I was wrong.
Story. I was told this was more like the original GTA crossed with the original Alien Breed series. But for me, it feels more like someone took Gauntlet, if you remember that game, and crossed it or squished it together with Max Payne and that film noir type feeling to it, and then set it all within a survive a zombie apocalypse world. And you know what? It actually works. As for that gameplay, it's top down, obviously, really, and you get to use different weapons as you progress to off the undead. And these come by finding and collecting currency as you go about your business, offing them walking menaces. Weapons can be purchased and upgraded, and yes, you do actually feel the differences in them boomsticks and hand cannons. Along with the said weapons, you get to blow up and destroy objects in the game, like tables, and, well, blow up vehicles for devastating results. Although best used by running around collecting and gathering a big mob that will chase after you and cluster themselves around vehicles before blowing them sky high, and trust me, it feels real great when done to maximum effect. And talking about maximum effect, it would be amazing if you can hit that subscribe button and like this video if you're finding it useful and want more. Right then. Then there's things like flares that attract the walkers and give you time to escape, or plan, or just to shoot them. There's even times where you'll be climbing on the back of a car with one of those turret things to mow down walkers. And as you progress, you even get to make some light decisions, and based on some of these, you get to hang out with, well, other survivors for a while. I will say though that these partners seem to be, well, ignored by the AI and seem to be invisible, or at least that's what the case in my playthrough was. Navigation is done as you would expect, but this world is dark, and the use of a flashlight or torch to us Brits is done with great effect. Never knowing what's around a corner or in another room until you actually shine your torch or your light into that room. I did, however, notice on a negative side that the AI was for want of a better word, a little dumb, which is not so noticeable all the time, but a few times it would not react to things it should have reacted to, and other times running past you or just blatantly running at a wall for no reason at all. And in case you're actually wondering if there's any bosses, well, sure there are. These work well enough and just take a little bit of time to work out how to defeat them as per normal for these games. The game, however, does support other modes, like an arcade mode with high scores and a multiplayer, horde mode for up to 4 players. And I just wish there was actually a 4-player story mode to this game. Visuals and sound. Okay, so I need to talk about the whole film noir voiced parts to this game. I love this sort of thing in Max Payne, and I love it here too. Voice acting is done a little cheesy, but I felt it was decent enough for me to, well, take note of. Visually, well, it felt detailed, and as you can see, the walkers splatter apart rather nicely. I did love the shadow effects and the different areas and walkers you get to battle against. If I had a complaint, it would probably be that it just felt a little bland and samey because of the dark palette used within the game. I think a little more colour here and there just to break it up a little would actually be nice and, well, basically add to the game's appeal. Final thoughts, and that score. Splatter does have a lot of fun to offer, and I love zombie games. The addition of finding, buying weapons and upgrades adds something different to the game, and using cars to blow up mass walkers never really got old. Although I did actually think this could get repetitive, it does its best to keep you entertained, and for my mind has value for the money for what they're actually asking for Splatter. I would have, however, liked a fully multiplayer story experience, though. That would have really put the cherry on the top. This is purely my own opinion, but I'm giving Splatter Zombiecalypse now, however you want to pronounce that, a 4 out of 5 and recommend it to anyone who loves this genre. And thus that leaves us with our alternative, and that's going to be Hong Kong Massacre. And I would also like to ask, if you have not already subscribed, please consider it, and also like this video, as it does help my channel grow. As usual, if you have a better alternative or just fancy letting us know your thoughts on Splatter, then leave them in the comments. That's a lot, and thanks for joining me, and feel free to join the Switchheads community Discord, because life is better when we switch together.